Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be talking about what kind of utensils and equipment do you need to make your raw feeding journey a breeze, all right? Well, first and foremost, you need a bowl, right? You need Fido's bowl. Now here's what we use. We use a stainless steel bowl without any rubber. Why? Because when we slightly warm it, we're gonna put it on the stove. We don't want any rubber on there, okay? A nice stainless steel bowl. You need a scale so that we can actually weigh out our food, all right? Maybe you would like to have some shears. We always have a great pair of shears so that we can open up our dog food. We do have some gloves always available for those of you that don't like to handle the raw food. We've got our Tupperware. This is a 4.5 quart piece of Tupperware that the food goes in. For those who have more than one dog, we use this one for our German Shepherd, who is 75 pounds. And we always have about 2 chubs being thawed out at a time. Or you can get even a larger Tupperware item. Now, let's talk about proper thawing. We always want to thaw out the raw dog food in the refrigerator. Takes a couple of days to thaw it out. And the other thing that's very important in the raw feeding world is you want to have some type of disinfectant so you can clean up your area after you're feeding, all right? So here's the question. What do you do when you get home and you have a frozen chub, all right? Well, I tell you what you do. You put them in the Tupperware and you put them in the fridge and you let them start to defrost. But we want to take them out of the plastic before they get totally thawed. All right, so here's what we do. This particular chub is not completely thawed out. It's pretty frozen, but it's not too frozen. Here's what I do. Take my shears. First thing is I cut the top off just like that. Then I go right down the side of this little chub, just like that. And you see, it falls out nicely. And if you've ever tried to cut open a chub that is totally thawed, what you would find is that you would find a lot of the meat remains on the plastic. This is why we like to open it up prior to it thawing out. Okay. In a couple of days, nice and thawed out and ready to be weighed out for your pet. We use our scale. And what you want to make sure that you do on your scale is you want to make sure that you have this in ounces and pounds, okay? Make sure your scale reads correctly. You put your bowl on the scale and you clear that out so it is 0, all right? See that? Now what we do is typically we use our shears and we begin to weigh out the food by just placing it in the bowl. And what is the next thing that Rick and I do and what we suggest that you do for your pooch? Well, you know, this has been in the refrigerator. It is slightly cold, and some dogs do not prefer that their food be that cold. And if you have a picky eater, it's even better to warm your food up. So we just come right over to the stove, we put the bowl right on top, and we turn it to the lowest possible, and we just let it warm. We do not brown it, we don't cook it, although that's a whole nother video that we'll do later. But this is what we do to warm it up, because we started noticing that our German started having these little tears come out of her eyes when she was eating the very cold food. So now we warm it up. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave that there. But I want to talk to you right now about transitioning, because a lot of people are asking us, how do you transition a dog from kibble to raw? Well, this is the meatball method. I made some meatballs out of my food right here. These are different size meatballs, and you're going to transition over 5 days, all right? So when you order your food, we're going to transition. I'm going to tell you how to do that. Transition method, meatball method is simply this. You're going to feed on the first day, one meatball as a treat. in between your kibble meals. So if you're feeding your kibble twice a day, you've got your morning kibble, you've got your night kibble. Right in the middle of the day, we're going to give a treat, a meatball treat. This is for your tiny dogs, medium dogs, and larger dogs. Now, how big should your meatball be? That is a big question. Well, it's kind of common sense. But meatballs probably need to be about 1/5 of the size, 1/5 of the size of what your total meal is going to be at the end of 5 days, okay? 1/5. Makes sense? All right. So, again, on the transition, we're going to give 1 meatball on the first day. On the second day, we're going to give 2 meatballs. On the third day, 3 meatballs. Fourth day, 4, fifth day, 5 meatballs. And all the while, we are reducing our kibble amount. They are going to love this. It is super duper easy. This is the meatball method. I'm Dee Dee Mercer Moffett for Raw Dog Food and Company. If you have any questions at all, please contact us at rawdogfoodandco.com. I'll see you soon.